I didn't think I was gonna make a video today, but how's it going, peoples? My name is Molly. I went on YouTube today, and I scrolled down, and it was pretty normal, whatever I watch. And then it was why Disney Channel is getting rid, the word escaped my mind, getting rid of freaking Andi Mack. Are you serious? I just made a I'm sorry, that was a while ago. I made a video titled Why Disney Channel, I don't even know. I think it's something to the effect of why Disney Channel is dying and why it might be coming back. I might have to delete that might be coming back part because apparently Disney's over here all like, we pay money to these two shows, right? One is about a girl and centers all around her friends. It doesn't have some crazy plot line, and it includes a lot of different demographics, and it touches on a lot of sensitive topics, stuff that teens, like our demographic, would probably like to hear, and it's very important for them to hear. Then we have these two girls that sing in front of a camera, and they do whatever with their friends, super unrealistic, super copy-paste, super not important. We need to pull funding, or we need to let go of one of these shows. Let's see which one. I know that Bizarre Bark probably isn't going to last that long either, and I know that they both have a lifespan, but I'm surprised that they both lasted like around the same age. Like, Jesus, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, Disney, what are you doing? You're going crazy, man. Disney, I love you, alright? You're great. You were part of my childhood. You are a part of my childhood. But what are you doing? There's no, reason that I can think of that you'd be pulling up. I know you're Disney. I know you're a big corporation. I know you have problems that I can't see. Obviously, I don't know. I don't run a giant corporation. But I'm just confused at this point. At this point, I'm not even mad. I mean, I'm mildly agitated, but I'm not mad. I'm not angry. I'm just kind of wondering why. What pushed you to the extent that you need to know that Andi Mack is going to be ending? Because I'm not going to go into why it's such a great show. I did it on the other video. You guys should check it out. But come on. How do you go from I mean, I think I made a kind of a visual of how it's progressing, but I'm going to make it here anyways. You kind of were up here, and then you kind of took a dive a little bit, and now you're slowly but surely inclining back, and you just want to throw freaking Nagasaki bomb onto it and explode the entire thing and make it all just kind of crumble into pieces, aren't you? Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of shows that are newer that I enjoy. Sydney to the Max, one of a very good shows. It has good humor. It's not supposed to be relatable or make an impact or anything, but it's a good show. It has the components of being an enjoyable watch. Things like Would You Rather, that also is very enjoyable, and it does that whole VidStar thing way better than Bizarre Bark, in my opinion. And, and I'm sure that they're going to keep doing really good shows. It seems like they're getting really good people and really good actors behind the scenes, everything, even in front of the scenes with the actors. And they're making good shows, but they're forgetting that the thing that really was the catalyst to boost them back up was Andi Mack. And it wasn't because it was a good show. It was because it was an important show. Disney was kind of lagging behind in the types of shows that they were producing. They were producing shows that, you could put in any time era, and it would be like, we'll take it, but we want more. And Andi Mack gave us that because it acknowledges all of the, not problems, because some of them aren't problems, but then some of them are problems, like gun violence or, whatever, just normal violence or whatever. Some of them are problems, and then it's just shedding a light on, yes, we know these exist. We're giving different angles of different people and how different people handle it, and we're showing what would create the best outcome. And there's so many unfinished storylines. I know they're going to finish the season, but dang it, there's so many storylines. That means that they're just going to have, the creators are just going to have to rush through everything. The Cyrus storyline, rush through it. The Buffy storyline, rush through it. Andi, whatever she's going to do. They're kind of going into pace, and that's going to lead up to it, like one good show, and then they're just going to shove a locomotive behind it and just push the entire thing forward. It's not what we want, Disney. I don't know how many people are saying, hurrah, they're leaving. Here, let me put a little bit of a comparison here. We have Andi Mack, right? It's a good show. It's an important show. It shows a lot of morals, and it's going up. And in its third season, Disney's going to cut it off, and then what's going to happen? We don't know, but I have a pretty good idea, because we've been through this exact situation before. I wonder what it is. Oh, right. Remember a little thing called, Girl Meets World? Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one. Let's see. Important show. Check. Teaches teens about important issues. Check. Hits hard in a lot of hearts at home with a lot of people, and it has a wider demographic than a normal show would. Check. It's enjoyable for a lot of ages. Check. Wow. Let's see. Wow, they're very similar without being direct copies. Wow, I wonder what would happen if Disney cut off funding just like they did, or cut off the show. I'm using the wrong terminology, I'm sorry. But they're cutting off the show of the season that's really important. Okay. First season of Girl Meets World had a very basic premise, and it had a very solid thing going on. Mr. Matthews teaches the lesson, they learn about it in real life, they go back to the classroom, they do whatever, go back to life, go back to the classroom, lesson learned. Very steady thing, and a lot of them didn't have coursing through storylines, like I said in the other one. In the other one, if you watch Berserk, you can watch them in like any order, and it's not even going to matter. In a story-based thing, it's very important to not stop that, because for a show like Berserk, even if it was in its like first season, if you just cut it off right in the middle, all the show creators would have to do would create a finale, then that's it, because there's no loose end storylines unless you really create one that you're going to need to plug up by the end. But in the case of both Girl Meets World and Andi Mack, you're going to need some buffer time to slow down the storylines and bring them to a nice end. You're going to need a lot of buffer time. And I'm going to tell you something. The last part of Girl Meets World, I'm going to be honest with you, I thought was kind of trash. I liked the beginning of the high school storyline, kind of, but I liked the middle school one way better. And then by the time of the end of it, I kind of just stopped watching it. It got to a point where you knew that the creators were rushing the series. And I don't want that to happen to Andi Mack, because what if they rush through the very important storylines? I think Andi Mack is a little bit more important than Girl Meets World, because it touches on a lot of things. And it has very important storylines that need to be plugged up for that reason. So let's just say, what happens to the TJ Cyrus storyline if we only have a couple things to finish? Disney might plug up the holes of the whole controversial aspect, and they might make it so that they don't like get together in the end, they're just friends or whatever. That's not gonna be what we were expecting. We've been watching for this long. We want a payoff, and like I said, if you're slowing down the storylines doesn't really, you're not supposed to slow it down to a point where you're going to have to slow it down so that, unless it's, instead of a slope, it's more of a staircase. You want to try to not slow the storyline down so that all of a sudden you're at the climax and then it just starts to get super soft and super mellow. You're trying to take that climax and that excitement and everything and turn it into something where there's a payoff for everything, for that entire incline. There's a lot of shows that had this Andi Mack like syndrome, that like Disney put a plug on everything. and the endings just didn't really work out. And then you have some really good shows, like Good Luck Charlie, which had, 4 seasons? Jesse, 4 seasons? They all have 4 seasons, and look how good they turned out. It's not about people looking at the show and saying, that's a good show, and then watching it. It's about having a good storyline, so that even if there's a few people watching it, and there's only 3, so that you can use that, and for those 3 people, end up with, a good, decent storyline. The Jesse storyline was good, but you can see how much what happened when, if you go in the complete opposite direction for money and do a spin-off series, you saw how undyingly happy people were about Bunked. I personally didn't have that big of a problem with it, but it's still, it still shows that you can't hold these things and then let it go and then hold it again. You can't hold those shows that have an importance and have a storyline willy-nilly, because then it gets skewed. A thing with Bizarre, if you were going to put a plug on that, first of all, oh, holy, yes, please. I don't enjoy that show, but, it would be easier, first of all, and it wouldn't, and I don't know how many people are actively watching Bizarre, maybe you have a high viewer count, and I'm not really sure why why Andi Mack is closing off. I know Astro Angel had the part in Shazam. That's why they haven't been filming or anything. And I know all that. And I don't know if that has anything to do with it, like the cast members are trying to go into something bigger. But if you actually let them finish off and show them what they can really do, a lot of other bigger name studios will look at that more carefully and see exactly what their skills are. If you just cut it off, it's not going to be the best of their potential. I'm just, happy that it didn't stop a long time ago. Because after Cyrus came out, I was super worried that Disney was going to be like, whoa, what are you doing? No, we are not, that's not what we do here. No, let's just kind of take it back. And then the show would, divert to Bizarre levels. And I'm so happy that they didn't do that, because now we have what we have, and it's such a impactful show. But now look what we have. An ending that's probably not going to be the best it's going to be if it had a full other season. I would have been happy to watch an entire other season, just so that we could see how every single storyline played out. I'm sure that Bex and, I forgot his name, Bowie. I'm sure that those two will get married in this season, and if they don't, I'm going to be so mad. I'm blaming it on Disney. But if they do, it's probably going to be near the end, because we already have this big thing that, Bex is not ready to get married, and Bowie has agreed not to. So, we had this whole running thing, and I don't know if that was such a good idea, because I was so disappointed. That was a sad episode, but it's not, the good thing about that episode is they were trying to make it sad and disappointing. It wasn't a disappointment because they were trying good. But if they just, either, the creators can do one of two things. They can either get married, next episode, and be so that they can rush it, and just be oh, we changed our minds, oh, hey, we're gonna get married now, oh my god, oh, honeymoon, oh, never mind, oh, okay, oh, bye. You could rush it through it, or you can have it where they have that storyline play out, and just have the marriage at, the end. Having in the middle kind of seems stupid. I don't know, that's just me. But in the first one already has its flaws, absolutely drawn out. It's going to be rushed, you're not going to be able to get any good storylines off it, and even though we can see what happens after marriage, you're not going to be able to do much with it because the series is about to end. And then there's the other option where I would love to see what happens when they get married. I would love to see how that affects Andy and everything. They're probably going to put it in the middle somewhere, but still, then both storylines are going to get rushed, and it's not going to be good either way. That's just one example of the rushed storylines that I'm really worried about now. Anyways, I've been talking for way too long. I'm sorry. This is just my opinion. Don't get angry if you hate Andi Mack and you're no, I want it to die. It should die. No, no. Don't get too angry about this. This is just my opinion. I think Disney's making a mistake. Goodbye, and I'll see you later.